I came across an interesting quote the other day, which was, broken people are the most interesting, end quote. And in addition to that, they come with the most red flags. That last bit about the red flags, that wasn't part of the quote. That's me saying it, but that's true. So, people who are extremely broken, people who have been engineered by toxic caregivers morphing into these maladaptive ways, etc. Yes, they often do come across as the most interesting because broken people who often morph into people with certain disorders overcompensate so heavily for who they really are because they can't show their true persona outwards. They have to show some manufactured version. And so they try really hard to impress people, to appeal to people's senses, even though it's not real. So, but those same people always 100% of the time will come with a lot of red flags. So when it comes to you or somebody who might be broken in a sense that you find yourself attracted to these broken people simply because they seem more interesting. These broken people who might have morphed into some cluster B personality, these heavily broken people, they might be used to playing the act to try to appeal to the person that's in front of them. It's like they're a different person for every target. And if you also are somebody who's broken, maybe you're not a cluster B, but you've suffered a lot of trauma, you have a lot of issues, you might find these people attractive because they will try to appeal to you. And because you're used to ignoring the red flags, because that's something you would have done since you were small, anybody who grew up in a narcissistic or cluster B household would have been forced to train themselves away from actually acknowledging red flags because you had to pretend things that were toxic and red flag behavior. You had to normalize that to even exist, and you carry that with you later. So, narcissists know that you are attracted to people who are broken like them, who put on a facade. Because healthy people don't put on a facade, they just are. And that's why they're not so interesting for people who are broken, who might not be cluster B, but who are just trying to find their way. And what narcissists do not expect you to do is to be able to move on from that. One thing narcissists do not expect you to do, even once you've been with them for a while, you've fallen for the facade, you've ignored the red flags, maybe you've suffered from the red flags. If they're abusive and toxic, maybe they would have hurt you a lot, but you would have kept on going. They don't think you have it in you to go out and find someone who's healthy. They don't think you have it in you to go out and find someone at all. And God forbid, if you go out and find another narcissist, you're probably in the same place you were before, maybe even worse. Because narcissists don't expect you to be able to heal yourself enough to be able to walk on your own 2 feet in a reliable and healthy way. And they're counting on that because they know you. They know that the facade which they put out to you appeals to you. And they know that most people would not manufacture that facade because it wouldn't be real. Those people would be fake, and narcissists know that most people out there aren't fake like them. And the narcissists, at a very subtle subconscious level, they know that's their weakness. They can't be real, but at the same time, they think it's their superhuman strength because they can create something that's not real, that carries this illusion of being real. And narcissists know that you like the illusion. So, how long will you attach to that illusion? And how long will it take, if ever, for you to acknowledge what's real versus what's not real? And narcissists are betting that you will forever be attached not only to an illusion, but the illusion that they fabricated. And they're very confident. They're very cocky because they know no matter how much they hurt you, no matter how much they trauma bond you, which not only hurts, is actually kind of what keeps you with them. But no matter how much they push you away, there's always that pull. No matter how much they devalue you, you feel a bit stuck with them because they've created this illusion that you feel it's a bubble you live inside. You've been enveloped by this illusion, and you don't know if you can walk away from that. And narcissists are expecting you to never to know and to never have the confidence to walk away from that, because it can be a scary world out there when there doesn't seem to be anything else kind of compatible. There doesn't seem to be any other match. And narcissists feel in a good place because they own you in a way. At least that's how they see it. And to a large extent, they're right. Energetically, you're possessed by them for a while. But when you, if and when, let's just face it, a lot of people, right? A lot of people never really reach that point where they can live a wholesome life with healthy people, because something's going to be missing. And that's something that's going to be missing from their life is it's a game changer. It's not something they can ignore. It's almost like you're breathing air that has the wrong oxygen saturation, or you're drinking water that doesn't really have the chemical composition of the H2O that you're meant to be drinking. And your body's asking for something that's missing. Narcissists know all about your trauma and unhealed wounds because they've suffered the same level of trauma and probably a lot worse. The only problem is they chose the dark side. They chose a life of control, manipulation, you know. Whereas maybe you never quite reached it. You never quite reached your healing, and you also never chose to go to the dark side because maybe when you were a teenager, a young adult, a part of you which was the good part of you, a part of you that knew the difference between right and wrong, kind of guided you in a different direction. So you didn't turn into this person who would live a life of gaming, controlling, manipulating. But it does mean that you probably turn into a very sensitive, people-fixing person, which not only attracts, but you are attracted to the broken people who are the dark players. Or you just, become lost until one day you settle in some version of you that does carry you forward. But it's really hard. It's really hard for somebody who's come from a traumatic background to not, assuming you don't choose the path of the narcissist or other cluster Bs, it's really hard for you not to live a good part of your life. And it can be anywhere between 10 to 60, 70 years being that people pleaser, people fixer, until you realize that you need to thicken up your skin, that you need to reinvent yourself. And you have to have learned callous behavior, because narcissists have learned fake empathic behaviors. The real sensitive, good-hearted people have to have learned callous, thick-skinned behaviors. And then those learned callous, thick-skinned behaviors, learning to be a bit short, a bit inconsiderate, with the right people, of course, needs to form part of the new you. And that's actually one of the biggest healing steps you'll take. Because having those learned behaviors and those aspects that you're missing to a great degree means, in a way, you're starting to patch up all those areas that invite the wrong types in. Thank you for watching.